Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's going down Monday, January 30th. It's the end of the month. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all up yet? Get up, move your body. Buddy, you in deep thought over there already?
Man. Going down the rabbit hole, boss.
Down the rabbit hole.
Just looking at something might get into on the show a little later on.
All right, we got Wanda Lewis giving us a good morning. Pops up this morning, says good Monday morning, First Sky crew and fan, mad love from Las Vegas. What's up, Pop? Thought you was gonna sleep in this morning a little bit.
Man, that sounds nice. Sounds nice.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, all of you up early with us this morning, and those of you on the radio channel as well. 6:30 crew, what's happening? How's the mix?
Hey.
Oh, okay. There you go. You feel a little better. Pop says the room stopped spinning, so here I am. That's what's up.
Okay, a little vertigo. You all right?
Yeah, said he had a little vertigo this morning and didn't know if he's gonna make it. So I'm glad you made it. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. Just trying to wake up. Wake up.
Man.
Quite the weekend. So already waking up tired, but hey, we're here.
How you gonna wake up tired?
Mark Manor says sleeping in is for chumps. Good morning.
Hey, all right. I like the energy. We here.
Chumps.
We definitely here. Man.
Man.
And if you're not, I guess you're a chump.
Man. I'm looking to be. I'm inspiring to be a chump here in the next couple weeks.
Hey, you know.
I got chump aspirations.
Every once in a while.
Ariel 402 says, "Don't start no mess, won't be no mess." 181 subscribers say what? That's what's up. Inching closer to that 200, man. I don't know what we're gonna do. Might as well start planning something for the 200 celebration.
A shindig, a celebration.
That's right. Christy Norris says, "Good morning, new job today. Congratulations."
Hey, congrats. Right. It is Monday, so starting the week off right.
It's a good time for a new job. What's the new job? Let us know what you got going on. Lucy Rodriguez says, Buenos dias. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us over there on YouTube. YouTube's going off this morning. I only got Wanda Lewis on Facebook so far.
It's lonely.
Yeah. I love it. Everybody's making the transition. Appreciate it. So, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Tell a friend. We're going to try to get as many people in to talk about what's going on this News Monday.
Yeah, man. It is Monday. Yeah. How was your weekend before we get into, the things of the day?
Lots of stuff going on. I missed a bunch of it just because of work situations, but I did make the OEAAs last night. Man,
how was that? Any highlight wins?
I can't really remember too much about it.
Okay.
There was some good wins. There was I'm glad that Color Purple won a lot of stuff. So that was pretty good.
Nice. I think was that at the Playhouse?
I think it was at Blue Barn.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I didn't take notes this time, so I don't remember. But it was good, man. There was a lot of good wins. A lot of people came out. Oh, King ISO. That's right. King ISO won.
Man, finally.
About that, right? Looks like Marcy. You said Marcy won too. I saw Mark last night. The OEAs was about like everybody who was there. It was just like everybody in the room, man. So I spent more time shaking hands and saying and talking to folks outside of the show than I was inside of the show because it was
Okay,
one of
okay.
those. Yeah, it's one of those things. It was good. Chrissy North said hospice case manager. Okay, cool. Well, good luck with the job. Congratulations. Stephen Abraham says we made it through another rotation. Rise to do good for self and others. I heard that.
Man, okay.
Appreciate you, man.
Indeed.
Leia Keiser says hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. You just like mornings, I think. I thought Friday was your day, but you seem happy every morning. So
yeah, are you a morning person? Is that what's going on here?
Yep. I love it. Ariel's 402 says, what are the times for the DJ battle? That's a good question.
Man. Okay, I'm kind of mad I'm missing it, man. Shout out to Marcy in the Culture House.
You should. You wouldn't. Would you be here if you was here? Would you get down on it?
I'm thinking about it. I'll definitely be shedding. You know what I mean? Getting ready.
That's what's up, man. That's a good question. I see February 4th. Oh, I see 6:30 p.m. at the Culture House, February 4th and 5th. So come on through to the DJ battle. And yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that DJ battle 4th and 5th. That's coming up, isn't it? Yeah, a few days, I guess.
Yeah. Again, y'all, this year marks the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I'm honestly like I'm to the point where yep, there it is, and we'll be rounding back around to that to the haps a little later on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm honestly feeling like, man, we should do like a whole just hip hop episode, like just one episode where we don't even really talk about it. We take a break from the news, take a break from what's going on in the community, and let's talk about hip hop moments. Talk about I don't know, but let's make it a hip hop day.
Yeah, with that. Mark Matter said best hip hop was Marcy and artist of the year was King ISO. That's what's up, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that. Lake Keiser says behind the keyboards you can't see my sleepy pre-coffee face. You can see mine. That's all.
Right. You make it look good, I guess.
Ty Williams gives us a good morning with some sunshine. We need it because it's 3 degrees outside or something. It's 8 degrees outside. So that is what it is. Mama Guy says good morning, First Sky fam. Good morning to you as well. Appreciate you very much. Yeah, man, just busy weekend. Lots of stuff going on. I'm like one of those situations where I'm like sad I missed so many things.
Man.
But it is what it is, man. Marcy was telling me last night that they had 50 things going on all year. Excited. Yeah, we do it at the Benson Theater over there as well. Ode to Hip Hop that Michelle Troskler is putting together, and that includes those DJ battles. The winner of the DJ battle will play a show at the Benson Theater,
man,
and then there'll be a concert after that. We're also showing Crush Groove at the Benson Theater, and then we're going to show a documentary by KRS-One a little later on in the month and have a panel with Houston Alexander. So lots of stuff coming up for hip hop this year for sure, and definitely during Black History Month. I'll be sure to give you all the dates for all those things that are going on. So yeah, plus my birthday is June the 4th, and I'm turning 50 as well because I'm the same hip hop. So yeah, it's going down. Ariel's 402 said if Ice-T isn't in your hip hop episode, I can't even say it.
Okay.
Man keeps on. He's a stickler about that Ice-T, ain't he?
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on. Let us know what your weekend looked like. What did you do? Did anybody go to the state of Omaha? The state of North Omaha meeting.
Good question.
Where was the flyer at? Do I have it here still? No, I don't. Yes, I do. Did anybody go to this meeting? The 16th annual State of North Omaha meeting. Let us know. And I'd like to talk about that a little bit. And I know we will when Precious and Cameron come on Wednesday. So we can talk about that then too. But if anybody went this weekend, let us know, and we can talk about it today as well. Buddy,
okay,
tell us how your weekend was.
Busy, man. It's busy. Still running around. Kind of was telling you, beforehand. Have about 2 weeks to move, and still have not found a place. So we kind of in the mad dash. Have a few prospects. So hopefully, maybe even today get some good news. But just running and ripping, and looking at different houses. Again, we're here in Atlanta. The Atlanta metro area is pretty big, so just about every house we look at is about an hour or so away. So just a lot of driving, a lot of just running around, man. So and then on top of that, just trying to stay on on top of work and things like that. So yeah, all of that, man. Yeah, that's kind of where we are now. Hopefully that will calm down pretty soon. But and we'll talk about some housing things actually in the show. But yeah, it's a reality, man. You got to find a place to live. It's a necessity.
That's rough. That's really, really rough. Let's get this show on the road here, man. If we got a few things to talk about today, I can't wait to get into some of these subjects because we've been this we've been talking about these things all week and all weekend. We want to continue the conversation for sure about how to support different bills that are happening. Talk about LB 18 in particular. Definitely need to talk about that and see what we can do. So we're already talking about we need some coordination here in a real big way because we're serious about trying to get a group together, get up and support these things, and first of all find out what these bills are and get
Yeah,
the updates and all those good things. So yeah, let's definitely get rolling and get talking about some things. And also, man, we still got to talk about brother Tyre, man. Um,
man.
the body cam footage is out, and people keep on dropping it, sending it to me, and I keep on telling them I'm not watching it, and they want to know why. So we're going to talk about why here too, as well. So,
It's important.
yep. So yeah, let's get this show on the road, and then we get started, get talking about this. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about all these things. Thanks for joining us this morning so early. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. Let's go. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, the 30th of January. We're at the end of the month.
Already.
Thanks for coming on in. We're going to jump into it right away. I see a lot of people watching it via Zoom. So okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah,
Let's actually start right there. So yeah.
sounds good.
Actually, I didn't know that this is the 15th annual North Omaha State of North Omaha Summit. Again, so big shout out to everybody who has been organizing that and putting that together, and again coming to speak at that event. I did go to the one last year. I was able to make that, but big shout out to those who watch via Zoom. I don't know, is that link still available? Let us know in the chat if you have access to that link, know where to find it. Yeah, is that still available for us to go back and rewatch? That'd be interesting. But again, there was of course news coverage in the room. For the last 15 years, again, leaders in North Omaha have taken stock of the community's challenges and successes in the annual State of North Omaha Summit. Of course, the big topics of this year were LB 1024, which everyone is still looking at, paying attention to, and rightly so. We can't let this opportunity pass the community, but also violence. A lot of the violence in the community came up as well. Of course, I would like to hear some of your thoughts on the topics that were shared and discussed at this summit. But again, just to read from this article from KET or KMTV Channel 3, they quoted actually Willie Barney about some of the opportunities that are stemming, have stemmed, and will stem from LB 1024. He says, you are hearing now about employment opportunities and expansion. That's really what we want to show is progress. Also, this is really unique opportunity right now to collaborate and align our efforts at a whole new level. And again, I did not see it, but in some of the news coverage that I did check out, Senator Wayne, put some respect on his name, was also commented talking about, again, the importance of collaboration in this moment. So again, for those of you who do have projects out there who would like to still get your project maybe suggested for some funding, again, nobody ever still haven't received any money. Nobody has received anything. It's all in a suggestion. There's still a process going forward, and there's still opportunity to do something and get something. So again, collaboration is the key. Let's think of that. And I'm kind of feeling like that kind of statement and mentality is going to permeate throughout this episode. We'll get into some other things, but teamwork makes the dream work, man. I've been saying it all season, and just something told me like that's kind of what this is coming to. And a lot of the stories, a lot of the topics that we've been discussing so far this season is kind of bringing it to the forefront. Like teamwork really makes the dream work. And we'll get into some of the protests that's going on in Memphis and Atlanta, some of the responses. We'll also get into how we can support bills and actually give you some tips about how to write comments and things like that for those of you who cannot make it to Lincoln. But at the end of the day, all that wraps up into teamwork making the dream work. So getting back to this LB 1024 in the state of North Omaha summit, I will say I'll be candid. I'll be honest. This is a community conversation. We're amongst family. Again, for those of you who watch via Zoom, I would love to hear your take on it. But what I took away from last year's summit was that it was just mostly, organizations talking about what they did. I didn't feel like there was a plan. It was kind of more so, this is who I am, this is what I do, and that was it, which is fine. But when you have the community come together in a room like that, you will hope that there would be some planning. You will hope that there would be some actual coordination, some line item, something getting achieved. You would, you walk away from these types of things feeling like that could have been an email. You know what I mean? Like that.
Some action. You talking about like some action.
Some action. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about action. And I just last year I didn't walk away getting the sense that that's what was going on. From watching the news coverage this year, didn't really get the sense that's what's going on. Maybe am I missing the point? Is that what that's for? Just people kind of saying who they are and what they do, or is this summit supposed to spark some action, or what am I missing something?
Those of you that went to this or saw this last one online, was it some of the same type of thing that Buddy's talking about? I didn't watch it, so I don't have a chance to comment on that. But let us know if you feel the same way. Wanda Lewis said it wasn't a Q&A, so they didn't do no question and answer during the thing.
Which is interesting. That's interesting because there are a lot of heads that could have gave you some good information if you had some real questions. You know what I mean? So the fact that there wasn't a Q&A, at least a Q&A portion moment. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm anxious to see. I'm going to go back and see if I can try to find it, since it was live streamed, and maybe they have it somewhere.
So I was asking.
Check it out. Yeah. Because I definitely want to find out about what they had to say about 1024. Of course, when the senators come on Friday for their legislative report, that we can ask them then too. But be interesting to see what everybody has. When we were talking to the senators last Friday, as a matter of fact, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ariel's 402. Made mention. Can we talk about like some of the distrust that we have with like the Empowerment Network and some of these other organizations? And yeah, we kind of don't really talk about that too much, because we don't, because we're always looking for points of connection with everything, and there's a lot there. And we, Willie Barney has always been a person that I could approach and talk to, have a conversation with. We can definitely have him on to talk about some of those things. But I do find that the sentiment out there a lot sometimes, that some of these organizations, especially the ones that end up getting big chunks of the money that comes into into the situation, like how 1024 is come in, there's some of the community, there's some distrust there. And I think that we're all about trying to make sure all the Black organizations can connect and be on the same page, and really kind of work some things out. So it'd be a good exercise to try to maybe do that, to have them on and talk about what's going on, and see where those jobs are going to be formed, and just understand better what's going on. Wanda Lewis says it was a presentation of each of the projects facilitated by Willie Barney. So sounds like what you're describing last year's was to me.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
State of North Omaha just by the title for me, it always meant for me, we have all these leaders in the room, and you're right. Like I kind of expect us to get a direction,
As a
but
community, it's
as a
not many
community,
of us. It's not many of us. We can come together and figure out where we're going together.
yeah, I'd like to see the Zoom. I'd like to see if there's a recording of the Zoom somewhere.
Yeah, Wanda
Um,
Lewis says it wasn't shared. So
was it okay? I thought she was talking about
no, I asked about the link earlier. You have some business to handle. I
got it, got
understand.
it. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah, I was going up in the chat a little bit more late. Keister was talking about this week's Swing Left Nebraska podcast is Kimmer's going to be on. She says joins Angie Phillips and I to discuss the upcoming public hearings on abortion ban and voter ID. Okay, I thought she was talking about those things.
Yeah, we
So
get into that.
yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely do that. We definitely saw that she's going to be on, and we're all for the podcast. Definitely, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, this is something that's within, like you said, within the family, within the neighborhoods. They're talking about the state of the state of North Omaha, which it really is talking about Black Omaha. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What's going on in the African American community, basically. So so I've with we can talk we can they can relay news, they can talk about what their programs do, and then yes, I feel like you would expect that there'd be some action points and some things to go off of from there, but
Okay.
didn't sound like there was.
Yeah.
So Gwen Easter in the chat, good morning. She said good morning earlier too. Wanda, I heard she's talking to Wanda. Um, she's that woman says State of the Union, State of the State, etc. are to report on what's going on to date.
I can see that. I can
They're
see that.
following the State of the Union address type of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, with the president just kind of up there talking about some of the issues, which I mean, if that's what that is supposed to be, then that's what I'm asking. Like, that is the honest answer. Am I missing something? If that is what that event is supposed to be, then fine. Maybe I need to tamper my expectations. But to be honest, I feel like the state of
Well,
North Omaha is fine, but can't that be a report? Like, can't you know what I mean? Can't you release with your numbers and you like? Can't that PowerPoint actually be just a report that people can just click on and go read in their free time, rather than sitting in an auditorium for 4 or 5 hours? Like, can't we maybe actually get some action items and get some things done if we're going to spend time doing that?
well, I think that what we're both wishing for is for that to be that's what's lacking all through the rest of the year. That some of these action meetings, we feel kind of the same way about some of the meetings that they had over in North High over emergency, let's get together because we got violence in our community, and let's and it's the same kind of thing there. There's not a whole lot of action points and things that you can take away and stuff like that. So I think probably we just need it. If there's a big gap here because we don't have action meetings and action plans anywhere. And
Mhm.
so, that we hope that when all those leaders get together, we can have some then, but maybe that's not the place for it. But yeah, it's I think it's just because it's so needed, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so needed. Like
Mhm.
we're thirsty for it. So we are, we're like, please give it to us. We need more action we need the leaders to lay out what's going on.
Man.
The hood tables in the chat. What's going on? Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning, First Sky Omaha in chat. What's up? Hey, we're definitely gonna get with you this season too, man. Come on the show and talk about your show and vice versa. So most def. Hood Table says, I wish we had a lot more Black owned businesses in North Omaha compared to other Black communities in other cities. For
man. I
sure.
mean, that's hopefully we can change that now. You know what I mean? Hopefully
Yeah,
that's what that is going toward. Um,
that's right. Wanda Lewis says index cards was provided for those in person for additional questions and ideas. So it
okay.
sounds like they had a very,
But did they
very
get to the questions? Did they get to ask their questions? Did they turn them in? How would they get their answers?
they're
What
still in the
other
box.
yeah. What other coordination and organization, um does that go to? And
Yeah.
because I'm just thinking about all of this. Like, we talking about bills, of course, a couple years ago, protesting and getting active and getting outside was all the rage. But it's like, how do we actually get things done around here?
These are good questions. Most definitely. And I tell you what, I appreciate what we got going on here, because what one thing that I tell people when we're talking about it, when they're asked that those questions of us, is that number one, we there's nobody who's doing any town halls 3 times a week, 2 hours a day. That's basically what this is. This is us having town hall meetings with people that live in our neighborhoods, and on the outsides of our neighborhoods, even contributing ideas and action items and excuse me, action points. That's what we do here. It's what the chat chimers do. So I know a lot of people, a lot of ghost listeners tell me that they come here and listen because they're trying to see like what the neighborhoods are saying, what people want, what things they're coming up with to do, and get some ideas on some action items and so on and so forth. So the first thing, conversation. You know what I'm saying? First thing is conversation. But I also like this season, us teaming up with people and really like putting some action items to these meetings as well. So I mean, that's really the all we can really do.
Yeah.
I see Miss Vonnie in YouTube. Good morning. I love the podcast. Auntie M's Vonnie in the ATL. Okay,
Okay. Okay. Auntie and Miss Vonnie in
there you go.
Atlanta. Hey, what's up? I'm out
What's
here in
happening?
Atlanta too.
Tough Anderson says submit no different than the past. Summit no different than the past. Folks and organizations patting themselves on the back. General North Omaha population still in the same situation: poor, poverty, and housing substandard. I mean,
Oh,
that's what we're trying to right. That's
I
what we
mean,
got.
that's like for those who did watch or attend, did you walk away feeling hopeful? Did you walk away feeling better, or like you gained something from this? Did you at least gain some information? I mean, you know, well, good. And maybe I'm not saying it is not any good. I'm just wondering. And again, you know, should I temper my expectations? That's all I'm saying. It's not what I hoped it would be or should be, and that's the feeling I've been sitting with for over a year now.
I think the other part of it that's supposed to be important too is the networking part of this. So if you attend these things, then maybe you can talk to. You're in the room with all the quote unquote leaders of the city, so you should be able to have some conversations with them, and maybe maybe form some action items there.
Mhm.
So I can see. I mean, there's reason. I can see a good reason for them to have these things once a year.
Oh yeah.
But you're right. I think we're anticipating that there's more action that's coming out in general, and so it's easy to say that it should be coming out of that meeting. Not
Yeah.
sure.
And I mean, I guess that's the important part. I don't want to again shout out to those who are organizing it. Shout out to those who came to speak. It was a lot of speakers. Like shout out to you for being accessible, and shout out to the people in the community who took advantage of this and came and did at least have the opportunity to network, did have the opportunity to meet your senator that you might not know. So there are positives, but again, the whole point of this endeavor and our whole point is to get things done. And it's nice to know about what's going on in your community, but how does that advance it? How does that take it to a next level? How does that really impact as Tough Anderson just said, those who are still poor, still in poverty, and still need housing?
There you go. Tamika Johnson, well, good morning, is in the chat on YouTube. She says Saturday was the delivery of data for the most part. Part two will take place on February 11th, which will include more dialogue.
Okay, there we go.
Good to
There we
know.
go.
Good to
Hey
know.
man, let me know if I'm putting my foot in my mouth or I'm talking outside of my neck. Let me know. I'm just asking questions.
I'm just saying. I think it's because we all need some action items from the leaders. Like
Mhm.
we all need that to move to change the game here, to make things be different than they have been, not more of the
Again,
same.
teamwork
Wanda,
makes the dream work.
Wanda Lewis says it was what I expected.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ariel's 402 says out of the state report should have come a leader rep list that when there is a call to action, someone can message the list and expect the word to get out, recognize self as the leader, or appoint a rep. Mayor Sanchez with the good ideas again. That
That's why
sounds
we
good
call
to
him the
me.
mayor.
Alice Brown says, with all the leaders together, with the mayor or someone from the office, with the focus on action. Yeah, I hope that's what happens on February 11th.
Yeah.
I hope there's a little bit of that. Tough Anderson says part two will not be anything different. Same old, same old. We'll see. We'll see. So let's let us know if you're planning on going to the part two of this. And of course, as always, we'll definitely try to make it if we can. and get some more reporting on this. We're always trying to, we got to kind of reach out to you guys, the chat chimers and the volunteers, hit some of these things and come back and bring some reports because it's just the two of us.
Man, that's real. And and I'm not even there. So it's really just Paul, you know what I mean? And even if it was, us there going to the thing, just the two of us can't do it. Again, teamwork makes the dream work. Whoever can go there, go. And whoever can't, let's support. We'll get into it. Send a letter, make a phone call, send some money if you can. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I want to wrap up this State of North Omaha comment or article with that same sentiment. Shout out to brother Chrome Lewis. Of course, heavy cat in the community. He says, whether you're giving out diapers or meeting with gang members and trying to change their mindset, everybody has a role to play. If you help a family, then you are helping the youth in that family. So if you help that family get groceries, then that helps the family create that better home environment, which also helps those doing gang outreach. Like everybody has a part to play, and it all comes together if we all just help each other. Teamwork makes the dream work, y'all.
Chrome Lewis, put some respect on his name.
For sure.
Yep. One last comment before we get to the next subject. Miss Vonnie says funding is coming from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development and Front Porch Investments, a philanthropic organization. That's where the funding for what is coming from. Is that for the meeting? For the are we still talking about this state of North Omaha meeting?
Yeah. More context, please.
Excuse me. Moving on. What we got next on the agenda?
Man, talking about the bills, talking about getting things done, talking about action items. That's kind of been our action item. Again, it's just the two of us, and one of us isn't even in the state, so we can't really be boots on the roots. But there are still things you can do. There are still ways to support, and namely supporting these bills. That's one of the main things that we're looking at. We protested years ago, and we know that there's people in the community when we need to do that. We can call them to organize. But there's also other ways in other areas that we need to focus on and we need to organize if we're going to get things done. And, in the legislative chamber is one of them, not just in the streets, but also in Capitol Hill. So again, big shout out to the dynamic duo, brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne for, again, engaging with us every Friday for their legislative report and kind of letting us know about some of the bills coming up. Also, big shout out. Actually, it was mentioned earlier in the chat, going back to NG Phillips and the Swing Left Nebraska podcast, and also, what is the name of this organization? Nebraska, the Nebraska Legislative Study Group is what I was thinking of. Yep. So again, shout out to these organizations who are again assisting and making sure that we know how to and we can support. So one of the bills we definitely want to tell you about is a LB 18, which will actually again push for a retry and the freedom of brother Ernest Jackson. Again, today is January 30th, 2023. And Ernest Jackson is still not free. If you don't remember, our brother Jackson has been serving time now almost 20 years, the majority of his life, for a crime that was not committed. For no crime, he is serving time. You do the crime, you do the time. But if there is no crime and you still do the time, what do? How do you combat that? So again, LB 18 is a way to try to do that as a provide for motions for a new trial based on newly discovered evidence. Again, if there is no crime and there's actually evidence to prove that there was no crime and there's still not enough to get you free, what do? So again, this was introduced by Senator Justin Wayne. Put some respect on his name again. So we got to support these brothers. Like we've been talking about this for a while. How can we help? Of course, we were looking at Dave Pontos possibly winning. We try to, again, how we get things done around here. A couple years ago, we protested. Now, after that, the ballot or the bullet. Let's vote. Okay, we protested. Let's vote. Now let's get into this legislative session. We got to keep fighting. So this is what we can do. You can write a comment to support LB 18. I do believe it will be going to the floor for debate on February 3rd. February 3rd. I do believe it is expected to go on for debate. So if I can, I want to share my screen, and we'll share a link just kind of a video walkthrough on how to do this. But for those of you who cannot get down to the Capitol for again this to make testimony for this floor debate, you can submit a comment. And right here where you see again the Nebraska legislative website, this is again the page of each bill. Whatever bill they all look like this. Whatever bill you want to support. There's a lot of bills, again, over 800 bills being presented this session. But if you want to make a comment, all you have to do is click submit comments online. There's a little pop-up that you just read through, just letting you know that you are making a comment. This will be submitted for public record. And, don't expect this to be, private. So if you got some off-the-wall comments to make, expect it to be on the floor and in the public record. But again, this is what you can expect to see when you go through the form. You can write down what bill you're looking for. If you don't have an idea of the bill or the laws, you can, search. There's a lot of information here. Take your time to look through it. But again, you can do this from home. I believe you can even do this on your phone. So don't say there's nothing you can do. That's the point.
Yeah. So we want to try to do here from now on, now that we're on this tip, is to really talk about some of these bills. Since we got the brother senators on Fridays, they can kind of break down some of those things, and we've heard from them now say that if we are there in person, if we're in the room, then that's the best support that we can really provide when it comes to if we want to help them really push these bills and back these bills, and to get up and make a comment, get up and say something there too. Again, if you can't, then of course you can fill those things out at home. And here's a link to a video that shows you a little bit how you can do some of that letter writing and stuff at home to really support. But what we're going to try to do is really kind of go through some of these bills and line up which ones are the ones that you guys feel are the ones that we need to be helping the senators push. And it's not just the Senator Justin Wayne and Senator Terrell McKinney. It's also a lot of others on the floor there that seem to be aligned with a lot of stuff that we are about here on the show, like Senator Carol Blood, for instance, Senator Megan Hunt, Senator Kavanaugh. There's a lot of people in there in the fight, and this is the way we can help. So on top of us trying to help coordinate getting up to the Capitol so that we can help be in the room when these things are being read, we also want to kind of break down what they are, ask the senators on Friday what they're about and why they're important. And shout out to Marianne Williams, who put these things in the Friends of First Sky Omaha. And I just want to bring this graphic back about LB 18.
Yep.
Because she titled this her post. It's very important that we help back this, and it's because it can give Ernest Jackson a new trial. That's what this is really, really about. So LB 18, there are three main requirements. If a witness in a criminal prosecution invokes a valid privilege, i.e. the Fifth Amendment, and does not provide disclosed evidence or testimony because of that privilege, plus later on the witness provides testimony, evidence is discovered, which I believe in Ernest's case, that it was discovered that there was no crime. If there's testimony, evidence would sustainability change the outcome of the original trial had it been provided, known of then. That probably applies to him too. If all three situations occur, the testimony evidence can create a basis for the defendant to file a motion for new trial, which is what he needs, especially. Ernest needs a new trial, especially. So, assuming all other statutory requirements are met. Currently, Nebraska law does not allow post-conviction motions under certain types of evidence, such as the subsequent confession of a cooperator.
Cooper Ryder was one of the defendants, or one of the defendants in the Ernest case. Cooper Ryder, I believe, is actually the one who was supposedly the one who actually did the shooting, the one who had the gun, who actually, by his hand, the person died. And also Cooper Ryder, I believe, is the one who came and confessed after Ernest's case that, and I think it was found as self-defense or something like that, which is why, again, this is not a case. This is not a crime. No crime was committed because this wasn't found, as a murder or anything. Again, this Cooper Ryder is the name of the person who came after Ernest was convicted.
confessed, and yeah.
Yeah.
This is every time we hear this story, it's just like it seems so unbelievable that somebody can be sitting in jail for that long over a done deal that we all see.
Yeah.
Pass LB 18 2023 to start Ernest on his journey home. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
So this is here we are. We're talking about an actual bill. We're trying to break down what that actual bill is about. Buddy, you gave some dates on when that bill is going to be discussed, which is the 3rd, right?
Correct.
And so now we have an opportunity to try to get somebody together. Let's go ahead and call. I heard that Preston Love Jr. was in the put some respect on his name, was in the or not in the chat, but they told me that he had agreed to use his bus to take people up to the legislature.
Yes.
So we can find rides, we can drive, we can make sure that we get there. But on the 3rd, it would be a good idea for us to be in the room to really support what's going on with that bill. If you guys are of the same mind as we are on this particular subject, we've been talking about trying to get Ernest Jackson home for a minute, and we already know that there's a whole movement for trying to get him home. So I'm quite sure that they'll be there. A lot of Lincoln support. But it would be good for Omaha to show up and show out as well. And if you can't, of course, we just broke down how to send a letter in from that form in order to just talk about that. Christy Norris talking about another important bill in on YouTube. She says the abortion bill is Wednesday. Wednesday. What date is Wednesday? Is that the same? That's not the same day, is it? No,
It's
Wednesday
the first.
is first, right? Wednesday is the first. So, the sessions are going on now. There's now we're talking about going, supporting and going up on the 1st. Friday's the 3rd. Support and go up on Friday. So, that's these things are going on. Here, you want to put this in the chat? These things are going on.
That is a link to the legislative schedule.
Okay, there you go. So that's the whole schedule.
Well, at least from the 5th to the 11th.
5th to the 11th. That's right. So this is good. So like on Monday, when we're doing News Mondays, we can talk about some of these things. We can look at the schedule and see what's happening, and then we can kind of help plan out for the week. Who's going to try to make that? Who's going to how are we going to organize getting up there? How many people can commit and say right now that you guys are going to go ahead and write letters for this or fill out the form for this? So like Gwen Easter said, I definitely want to support Ernest Jackson. Same.
Yeah. However we can. And also, remember, again, it's not just us. There are resources. Shout out to Sister Kimber Snipes and the Civic Engagement Table. I do believe she mentioned that there is a fund for those of you who have to take off work. I think there is something to help you with gas, or I think there's something to help financially for those who have to take off work to, or are willing to take off work to get down there to, engage in your civic duty.
There you go. Ghost Listeners 402 says need to cause ruckus with those opposing.
Hey.
We play too nice for them. With them.
Hey, Alexa, bring the ruckus.
Bring the ruckus.
Wu-Tang.
Chrissy Norris says, no matter how you personally feel about abortion, we deserve bodily autonomy. So everybody has their thing that they're feeling pretty strongly about. The whole point is let's shift up this game here a little bit. We found out some of the rules of the game. Some of the rules of the game is to show up in person and back your senator's play if you guys are aligned. Get up, speak, and if you can't speak, definitely write something and put it on public record. I've heard a few senators get up and say, these people coming up and giving these comments, we already know what we're going to do. A lot of these senators aren't even listening. And I remember him saying, they're not even listening and nothing's going to change over these testimonies. Then a couple more got up and said something completely opposite. Now we're here to listen to what our constituents is talking about, and we will be swayed by the number of people that help us, that are back. That's what this whole process is for. So that's the rules of the game. Here we are. I've never had access to senators like this before. Now we got senators coming on the show on Friday that tell us exactly what we can do in order to go and make some kind of a difference in on what bills are being passed on the things that affect our lives.
Right.
Which I always, what you got to stress to young folks. This is, don't treat this as something separate where you got to live under this mess every day. Leah Keiser said Preston Love is taking his bus down on Wednesday to Lincoln for the voter ID bill. So voter ID bills happen on Wednesday as well.
There you go.
Leaving at 72nd and Dodge at 11 o'clock. So thank you so much for helping with that and passing that news along. 72nd and Dodge Freedom Corner at 11 o'clock. Be there, jump on the bus, and head up to Wednesday. Head up to Lincoln on Wednesday. Make a day of it. Sounds like there's going to be some very important bills going on. Voter ID, the abortion bill, a lot of stuff happening on Wednesday. Hopefully, we can get that going on Friday as well, and help with this LB 18.
Mm-hmm.
So we're artists and musicians, and sometimes all these things and these bills and the titles of the bills sound boring and all that good stuff. But I'm looking at it a little bit differently these days. This is the people are making these decisions about your life. Number one, number two, this is a game that we can also we can play along with the big boys here with this.
Oh yeah. I mean that's what it is, and I mean, can you think about it from the senator's perspective? You know, they get sent, they get paid to do this work, so they got to do it. They can't just not do it. But if nobody shows up, then you can easily feel like, well, it's just us. Nobody's really paying attention, so let's do this. Let's push this agenda. Let's come in with our mind already made up, as Paul just said, rather than listening because nobody's gonna come. So.
And you think about the brother senators, of course, and also a lot of the other Democratic senators that are there. A lot of times their ideas, they're fighting against a whole room full of folks that don't believe what they believe at all. And trust me, when it comes to anything like, can we just pass a bill that says that you don't have a gun in the courtroom? Like on concealed carry in the courtroom. Then 50 people from the other parts of the state will come out railing, talking about Second Amendment rights. So it's not just the senators in the room that sometimes they're battling; it's the public.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gonna be 50 people coming in saying, "Yeah, I put the gun away." In Nebraska, it's gonna be 50 people coming out and saying, "No, we can carry our guns anywhere." And so just imagine, Kavanaugh or Megan Hunt or somebody who's trying to pass a bill on no guns in the courtroom, and then you get 50 people coming in talking about, "No, don't take my gun away,"
and that's it.
Yeah, like this is gang stuff. So rival gang got to come and gang. That's all there is to it, bro. Let's get it together, get on the bus, and get up there, and just as many people saying yeah to something, say no to something.
Teamwork makes the dream work, man. I'm telling you.
That's the game, bro. Alice Brown says, yes, fight is being passed to the young. That's what we got to do, man. Marianne Williams says, morning, all busy morning, but I wanted to say that Senator McKinney's racial impact bill had a great turnout last week with no opposition.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
She says, was happy to see so many people there, and I got to meet Kimmer in person finally. That's what's up. Hope the trend in participation continues. Have a great day, all. Thanks for that report. Thanks for that report. Appreciate that very much. Yep. Ghost Sisters 402 called around and no group has letter writing event. 0 North Omaha, multiple other areas of Omaha. Had to get white neighbor help write letter. Okay. Christy Norris says, I tell you what, Ghost Listener, here's an idea. Let's get hold of Manny about town at the Fabric Lab. Fabric Lab would be a great place to do a letter writing party type of deal, and they'll be down for that.
It's a good idea. Or the Culture House.
Or the Culture House for sure. Christy Norris says, imagine if the Black Agenda Alliance showed with their long arms. Right. Then the bill might get passed then.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting because, shout out to the BAA, man. Like, if you want to see how to get things done, look at them. Because, quite honestly, the BAA was in the room.
Yeah.
Brother McKinney is a part of the BAA.
Right.
The BAA, you know what I mean? Like, they're organized and they're moving. We got to do our part to support. It can't just be the BAA either. But they were there. They were there. You might not know it, but they were there.
Yep. That's real. So anyway, yeah, that's the gist. Let us know what you feel about that. Think about that, because that's definitely a direction that we need to go with the show. Is in part of the thing that we're doing here is providing some communication and some sometimes some interpretation when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
I definitely needed it. I definitely needed it for myself. If I want to understand what's going on here with the way that laws are passed, then I needed to do some research and I needed to frame it in a way that I can understand, and then share that, and hopefully people that are on my level with it. It seems like we got more people in the room smarter than us all the time, though. So I'm happy about that.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You don't want to be the smartest in the room, man. You're in the wrong room if that's the case. So yeah. And with
I
that
learned.
said, and just real
Oh,
quick with that said, for those who want to write letters, or it really starts because you mentioned something that sparked the thought as far as like, please make sure we are understanding these bills. Take the time to read through them. Take the time to understand what's going on. And if you don't, ask questions, or don't just write a letter to write a letter, because you can do more damage than you think. I mean, sometimes these bills can be nuanced. So it starts with this, us coming together, having the conversation, and then once we get a grounding on what's going on, let's move.
So just to finish my thought, I was saying that the chat chimers really are the ones that have been helping me really understand this stuff. And so the responsibility, like I feel like we can definitely talk about these things and dig deep into them, and thanks to the chat chimers that have a lot more information on a lot of these things as well. So that's what we're definitely leaning in this direction of trying to pull these bills up and understand them and then organize some things. But that's because of the chat chimers are the engine for that, for sure. So I wouldn't even be half as interested in this subject if it wasn't for the discussions that we have here 3 times a week with you guys. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the chat chimers, all
Definitely.
the ones that are smarter than me in the room on these subjects, and also passionate. Like when you talk to Kimra Snipes on Wednesday, you see the passion
Man.
that she has for all these things. You see Precious, who's been playing the long game and in here trying to do the work too for a long time and be a part of this whole process, and everybody else. So,
Yeah.
and now we have the senators that come on Fridays, and that's just like, if you don't, if nothing changes with that playbook, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a good opportunity here to make some real change on that level. And just to make a comment on something you said earlier, buddy, we still need to protest. So what I'm learning is
Yeah.
that we protested before. Now we're looking at trying to do things with the legislature, but shouldn't be we did this and now we do that. It should be we did this and now we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like
We're
we
building
add
on the
on.
strategy. You know what I
Right.
mean? Building on it. So yeah, definitely don't throw the previous steps out. And if you pay attention, that's what's going on with this legislative bill. Like there was the walk of life that took place in Lincoln, I think
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. You know what I mean? So people
Mm-hmm.
hit the streets. Now it's time to hit the legislative chamber and push the bill and push your support or opposition of the bill. So again, this is what civic engagement looks like. And this is the work that we all should be doing because it affects us all.
There
So
you go. One last comment before we jump out of this. Gwen Easter in the chat says all you need is 3 talking points on any bill and speak on those points since you have a limited time to speak.
there you
It's a
go.
good strategy. It's
There
good
you
to,
go.
yeah.
Come prepared. Come prepared.
There you go. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. Thanks for you guys joining us and digging in on this discussion. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. Whew, man, it's Monday. I'm trying to wake up.
Tired, boss.
Boss, he tired. what it is. I was like, I had to find that cut from Life, from that movie Life, man.
Man, classic. You do you have it? You got that ready? You got that teed up?
No, I don't have it. I gotta get it cut. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do it.
Man, classic film. Man.
Yeah, most def. You guys see anything good this weekend, man? What you been watching anything lately, man? Anything good out there?
I'm actually BMF. The new season of BMF is out. I've been checking that out.
What?
BMF.
What's BMF?
The Black Mafia family.
I didn't even know that existed. What is that?
Yeah, it's with the family, the Flannery family. 50 Cent is producing it. It's on Stars. Just telling about, I'm here in Atlanta, man, so I'm kind of doing some homework. If you know anything about Atlanta culture and BMF, you know what it is. We're not gonna get too deep in that, but yeah, I'm just doing some homework.
Okay, I gotta check it out. I can't even remember nothing. I guess I ain't even looking at nothing special right now because I can't even remember anything that I'm watching these days.
Yeah, I mean,
really
1619 project is out.
That's what I wanted to get to. Right, 1619 project on Hulu.
Go check it out.
I got that primed up and ready to go too. Also, Ben, I've been looking at you know what I've been doing too with work is I listen to audiobooks all the time, and
Nice.
I forgot that the library has a gang of library books. So if you can go online and they make it real easy to find what you're looking for, and you can, and if you got your library card already set up, then basically you just check out audiobooks online. So I got
Nice.
Amber and Lacey's new book, the World Record Book of Racist Stories, that I just downloaded for listen. And it's a trip, man. It's like it'll be available for a while, and then it'll go away, and then the next person can get it, just like a book, audio version. So yeah, been trying to check that out, see what's up there.
Kind of gave me first guy book club.
Man, you know how many times I try to start a book club. Look, man, you gotta get your own reading schedule together before you try to get together.
That's true, man. It's been a goal of mine to read like 6 books a year for some years, and I haven't quite made it to 6 yet. I'll just say that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a tough one. But that's what's up, man. You gotta make it happen. Do what you can do. But yeah, I wish it was. I wish it was a little bit of a situation. We tried to do a book club at the Hi-Fi House once, and yeah, it fell. And
didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Abby Kretz is trying to do one with the Abby Kretz of the Documenters program. It's also something she wants to do was get a book club together. I think she got something together. I just couldn't make it. Yeah, it's always the thing, man. And in this day and age, your schedule, it feels just out of control. So
yeah, I got to tap in with Jakeem. I remember he had the book club. I wonder what's going on.
Had a book club,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
Book clubs be falling apart these days, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was just a thought. Let us know in the chat how you feel about that. Is that still a thing, or book clubs? I know after Oprah did it, did she kill the game?
Maybe, I mean, I guess we could do it like Oprah did it, and have an author on and talk about the book that they wrote, and then
that's what I was thinking. Like, we'll make a day of it, spend an episode, talk about the book, talk to the author, or at least a segment, something like that. I don't know.
You gotta have Walter Brooks on first,
man, or have your cuz on. The Deuce is out now.
Yeah, cousin Pat on for sure. That might be a good idea, man. Especially like local stuff like that, for sure. Might have to look into that. That woman said I would do a first Sky Book Club. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's happening. Yeah. I'm on the library steering committee as well, so I think they're getting ready to do a whole lot more stuff like online with books, and a lot of online checking out. And maybe there's something on their website. Their website's pretty clean and pretty easy to navigate. And I feel like it'd be a good place to hold book clubs would be on like the library space. You know what I'm saying? So it might be an idea to throw in with the new library system that they're trying to put together there. So
there'd be more tech available.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So just jump in the chat real quick. Ariel's 402 says for the letter writing for each. He said Yes, other groups provide templates, just not from the Black perspective.
Yeah, Ariel's 402 asks, wondering if templates could be used to help hit the major points, and then someone fills in the name date, like boilerplates, I think they're called.
Yeah, we could do something like that. That might be something good to put together for sure. While we're thinking about it, in the chat, Gwen Easter says, last year my organization, Safe Haven Community Center, held a meeting with Senator Ben Hansen about how the legislation works and what you can do to participate. We had 35 people attend, mostly Black people showed up. I plan to host another one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we should collab on that. That's definitely what we need. You know, we're
exactly
trying to. This whole thing is about civic engagement and teaching people more about civics and us learning more about civics as we go. So that's encouraging to hear that there's 35 Black folks that went to go hear about how this stuff works. That's really encouraging. Good work.
Yeah. Like, you know, what would be a good, like, if we can get like a solid 50 people that just call on for bills.
I mean, I'm all for like making a club out of stuff, bro. Like that's always my thing. Like
club culture.
Yeah, it's to me it's about club culture. Because really like my theory is that you break down everything according to your social situation. So it's you know it's like you don't form a band, you hang around a bunch of cats that play music and then the band forms. You don't you know what I'm saying, you put the social every time. Just think about it. If we were like going to start something right now, we'd say, well, let's all get together for an hour, you know, we'll do a lunch and we'll talk about it. And you're doing it around food, you're doing it around a social situation, you guys are talking, and then things form from that. So I like to so now that my head is in this game with the legislative part, I'm like thinking of it in those kinds of terms. Let's meet in person. Let's put some templates together, like Ghost Listener saying here, or Ariel's 402, and you know what I'm saying. Like let's figure let's talk about the game and game theory and game talk, and play chess. Play chess. What moves are they making? Okay, well let's go up Wednesday, and well, how many people they came to speak on that last time? All right, well let's get 20 people for that for this time. You know what I'm saying? Like play the game. That's what a lot of people are doing. And that's to me, that's how you're gonna get a lot of people involved as well.
Yeah, actually, somebody mentioned that earlier in the chat, something along those lines. Actually, you read it. Ghost Listener 402 says, yes, other groups provide templates, just not from Black perspective. So, you know, it's important. Like, man, we got to do for self, you know, and there are examples of other communities who do this. It's just, you know, are we doing it in our community, and how do we organize that, and how do we start that? Because, you know, there's nothing wrong with looking at it in that way. You know what I mean? As far as Black, quote unquote, Black people doing for themselves, I mean, coming together to inform themselves from themselves, to, you know, have their own agenda and support things that support them.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Ghost Listener 402 says, look how people talk or post socially, more posting about personal issues versus community issues. But yeah, but if you can make community issues into personal issues, then you working with that the way they're already doing things. Gwenisha says, I'm a part of another group that view all bills and choose the bills they are for against or against. That is what we need to do in North Omaha, for real.
And that's what I thought the state of North Omaha would be. You know what I mean? The state of North Omaha will be that, but obviously not. And that's fine. If that's, you know, if it's supposed to be something different, then we need to create that. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So yeah.
New Najiel in the chat, good morning, says, y'all talking about think tanks. Funny you say that. We just kind of had a discussion about what this show actually is. It's not a news show. It's more of a think tank. It's more of a discussion group. It's more of a, you know, we come into conclusions about things. So
we might talk about the news. I might read a story or two, but that's not it. That's not, you know, that's a part of it.
It comes from the news. It comes from what's news in our neighborhoods. We have to put some thought into what's going on behind the scenes.
What's going on?
Oh Lord, buddy, Marvin Gaye came out.
Hey,
8:04 right now. We're already in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Paul
B.
Hey, from Marvin to Luther.
Hey, I just saw a meme. I just saw something last night. They said there was a meme about Luther Vandross. They said that one time that Luther had to show Whitney, had to remind Whitney of who he is or something like that. And Whitney Houston sang this note, and she went way high with it. And Luther came back and did that thing. He said, "You ain't gonna show me up on my thing. I'm gonna show you."
All right, you're gonna shake the room.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. You got to shake the room when you walk in.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, so yeah, man, 8:04. Let's 8:05 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and we've been having some really good discussions on some things. I'm glad that we spent some time to talk about what we want to do with these legislative bills. We got to make it funky, man. Like that's the only way that I'm gonna stay interested. That anybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm different. I'm a little different with it now. I'll take that back. I shouldn't say that. I'm not. I'll stick with it because now I really have gone to the other side of seeing like how it affects your life personally, and it's super important. And now I know some of the game, and now I'm going to continue to do that. So, but in order to really kind of like get people involved and get them to stay involved, I mean, we got to kind of do a thing with it. So we starting right now by just connecting with everybody of like mind who thinks it's also important, seeing what they're doing. Like Gwen Easter's talking about groups that are out there already discussing the bills and figuring out yay or nay on, and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then just kind of going from there on trying to like break these things down. And and do action items, get groups together, go up, back, all that stuff. And we'll continue to talk about that. It'll be an new evergreen topic for us here on First Sky Omaha. So we'll continue to talk about it. Some other things that we're going to talk about, though. Let's go ahead and jump to the next subjects. Lots of people have been hitting me up, asking me, did I see the police cam footage? And I had to tell them, no, I'm not watching the police cam footage. As a matter of fact, a couple people dropped it on Friends of First Sky Omaha. I almost took it down because I don't want, because what I'm understanding here is that the black community is kind of done looking at police killing us.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's traumatic. We've seen it enough. I definitely delved into watching, and when it became clear that that's what was going on, and my consciousness understood what was happening. when I finally came around to being conscious of it, was letting myself get real riled up watching these things and not really realizing at the time how it was going to be traumatic for me to do that. And I just naturally started going, I ain't watching this one. No, I didn't want to see that. And then I looked around and I'm like talking, and other black folks are saying the same thing. Nah, we don't watch that. And I've been talking to some folks, and they really blew my mind with their concept of, nah, this ain't for us to watch. We already know what's happening. We don't need proof. We don't need the trauma of watching a black person die by the hands of the police, because we need proof that this happens. This ain't for us. Other folks might need some proof, but we don't need no proof. We've already seen enough, and now it's turning into trauma. It's turning into just trauma. It's just traumatic to watch it every time. Pop's already talking about it. He says, I did not watch the murder of Tyre Nichols either. I already know that it's vicious, vile, and brutal. I don't have to get sick to my stomach and be assaulted visually to come to the same conclusion. Right. Exactly. And that's just, they want you to see the brutality of it. But like I said, that's not for us to see. I ain't on the jury. I'm what I'm saying? The folks that need to punish these cats need to see this video. I don't need to see it. Ariel's 402 says black officers carrying out white systematic practices. Another part of this conversation we need to talk about.
Black police showing out for the white cop.
Man, they keep on hitting me up like, well, these are black guys that did it now. So now what? Now same. What you mean now what? This is about blue. This ain't about black and white. This is look, the culture of the police department. You could be black and then go into the cultural police department and end up doing some mess like this because you're getting trained for these things. You're getting trained socially and in actual training. Black death PTSD is real. That's trauma porn for some. Shake my head. That's what that woman said. Trauma porn. Brooke says, I haven't watched a police murder video since Philandro Castile in 2016. It's the last time I watched anything, too. Ariel's 42 says, I cannot watch. Brooke says, for my own mental health. Exactly. This is the talk that I have with black folks. So for those listeners of ours that are different races that don't really understand, where we're coming from with that, nobody's trying to put it on the back burner. Nobody's trying to ignore it. It's just that we know it so well that it's turning into trauma to watch it.
Mm-hmm. And that's good on us, man. Good on us for not falling for the okie doke, because I'm thinking back to plantation days and how they instill fear in us. It's not just about PTSD. It's a fear tactic. This can happen to you. You know what I mean? Without getting too graphic, without getting into it, our women, pregnant women, are unborn. We're brutalized. I'm not gonna get into it, but we're brutalized. And the men who are supposed to protect were held back, chained, and made to watch.
Yep.
What dynamic did that create? So again, good on us for not watching it.
Well, and I tell you what, man. I remember talking to a friend of mine too. He was a Jehovah's Witness, and I said, I asked him, did he watch? Was he going to watch? I forgot what was that at the time, 12 Years a Slave or something. He's like, nah, man, I got to go preach to these white folks every day, man. If I watch that stuff too much, I'll just be hating them so bad I won't be able to even do what I'm supposed to be doing. And I was like, oh, that's what my problem is. I keep on indulging, and so even on the other side of that, man, you talking about churning up hate. You talking about stuff that can happen, stuff that's gonna happen between races and stuff like that. You talking about really, really not. If you watch too much of that stuff, then you're gonna start feeling like all people do that. Man. And that's when you start now you're not looking at people individually and you're in trouble. And you're in real trouble.
In particular with this situation that happened in Memphis, with Brother Nichols, the fact that is, supposed to be peace officers continuing a campaign of death, which is quite interesting. I came across a statistic that the police in the United States killed on average about 3 people a day last year. Over 1,100 people were killed by the hands of the police. So when I say campaign of death, I literally mean a campaign of death that continues. But the fact that in our community is not just a police officer, but it's a brother, a group of brothers that brutalize another brother like that. Like, yes, there is a problem with the police mentality, police culture. And I mean, it started in slave catching. And I also saw a quote, how you start something usually tells you how it's going to end.
People don't get
another element. You said what?
I said people don't even get that. There wasn't even any police until they started deciding that they had to start catching slaves, and then they formed the police department.
Right. So again, there's that. But even with that, when you have brothers that's in it, you can you change it from the inside? Can you be the change, or are you just going to accept the teaching? And I'm thinking, like, what kind of self-hatred will cause some brothers to do that to another young brother? Do you not view this person as a brother? Which is going back to, my teamwork makes the dream work. And I'm kind of everywhere with it, but stick with me. Teamwork makes the dream work. Do you look at your neighbor as a brother? Do you love your neighbor do you love yourself? Is the question. And I'm going to what we've been seeing with some of this LB 1024 stuff. People fixing their mouths to call senators. Like, how you going to attack your brother? Do you look at them as your brother? Are we family or not?
When Easter's echoing your sentiments, I am very disappointed in those officers. I have not watched the video because I don't want to see black officers doing what white officers did to black people for decades and continue to do so. Where is the outrage from the Black Lives Matter group on this issue?
I'm calling us out.
I don't want people focusing too much on the fact that it's black people doing it. For black folks, I want us to go, let's remember all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. But for everybody else, I want you to understand it don't matter black or white. It matters what the police department system is and what they do. Ghost Listener 402 said Rodney King enough for me. Yeah, man. The Rodney King beating is seared in my brain. I can see exactly what the grain of the film looks like.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Every
Like
swing.
being somebody who was there. Like how's that changed for you?
You
Or
didn't have
has
to
it?
be, you didn't have to be there. That was the point. This time everybody saw a video of it all around the world. You didn't the point was at that time it wasn't just what you saw because you was out on the street seeing it, like how Black Panthers formed because they saw it all the time. This time you saw it on the video and everybody saw it and everybody got to feel the same way this time. And that was what was going on. And even though I did not grow up in parts of in California where I saw that on no regular basis. I wasn't gang world wasn't my world. None of that stuff was my world. So I saw it just like how white America saw it for the first time. Oh, this is what they be now. You be hearing stories, but that's what they do. That was traumatic enough. I remember the pose of them cops, every stroke, everything. So to me, anything after that was already enough. But when some of this when Trayvon Martin got killed, and then all of a sudden you start seeing video after video after video. I did get caught up in seeing some of those things in the beginning, but very soon after that was like, nah, bro, this is this is not what's up. This is not what's up. Yeah. So I mean, this is something to talk about, and like I said, this is kind of two different conversations. One of them is with the Black community about this and what happened, but you got to understand, when we railing against the police and the reason why the police exist in the whole institution of the police, it really it's beyond color. We're talking about culture. We very rarely are talking about color at all. We talk about culture. There's white culture, there's black culture, there's blue culture,
and it all intertwines.
Man, Nunagiel is saying exactly 100%. That's what's up. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Amy Hutfless that came on. Good morning, fam. Sending y'all love. Appreciate the love. We need the love.
Peace.
We need the love. Pop says, yes, I felt the same way after watching Amistad. That was the last movie of its kind that I've watched. But black folks don't want to watch no more slave movies, man, unless it's Django.
Yeah.
Unless Jamie Foxx is whooping slave owners. Shows you the genius of Quentin Tarantino, number one, because they Quentin Tarantino sat around with some black folks and was like, "Oh, y'all tired of watching slave movies, huh? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. How about we do a slave revenge movie then? Yeah, I want to see some. Yeah, let's see that."
Yeah.
Stephen Abraham says some gang violence is as graphic as police brutality. New age rap music. There you go. Let's talk about some of that gang violence too. I mean, all of it. Yeah. If we're gonna talk about the cops doing that, then what about the young folks killing each other? Same thing. But what people need to understand is it all comes from the same source: white supremacy and the self hate that comes from you living in that world all that time. Of course.
Exactly.
Ariel's 402. When two or more officers are present, one officer needs to be appointed to de-escalate. They both need to be de-escalating.
I mean, that's why all 4 or 5 of them are being charged, because the people who were supposed to de-escalate didn't. Not everybody was striking and throwing blows. There were some people just standing there, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do either.
Miss Vaughn, Heartbroken Paul, love you. This is Aunt Millie. What's up, Aunt Millie?
Hey.
You know you was on there, Miss Vaughn. Okay, for now I know why you say you from Atlanta. You in Atlanta right now. That's what's up. I definitely want to come out and check you guys out this year for sure. As a matter of fact, but my buddy here is out in Atlanta looking for some house hunting. I was gonna hit you guys up to see if you guys had any hookups on that. If you guys know about any housing, this cat's looking. He got to be out in like 2 weeks.
Let me know.
Hit me up. I'll let him know. Ghost Listener 402 says some of us need to be called out for sure. Christine Norris says, "Where are the blue lives, folks? Where's the Blue Lives Matter, folks? Where are they at? Also, the white cops need to be arrested. EMS."
Yeah, again, it's levels. It's many levels and different ways to talk about this conversation. Because that is a good point. You know, these, like, yes, they're cops, but they're also black cops. So where is the blue lives support of the black cops? You know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
That woman says Black Lives Matter is about officers not being charged. There's no Black Lives Matter action to take. They were arrested and charged, which happens faster, really, really fast because they were black. So that all that stuff happened real fast. Matter of fact, they'll probably get convicted. You ain't gonna have no Chauvin in jail without having these cats in jail. These cats are going to jail, bro.
So you think about it. You think about it, man. Like the mentality, the system, the culture of quote unquote white supremacy just took out 6. 1 got killed and 5 got sent to jail. And you know what I mean? And the brothers fell for the okie doke. They perpetrated it.
Well, them brothers, go out on your street right now where Atlanta is protesting because of the cop city, and see how many brothers is over there putting up cop city tents and driving tanks. It ain't about the color. Wanda Lewis says, imagine what was all going down with police brutality before we had camera and phones and body cams.
I've heard some stories. I
mean, hey, it was enough to organize brothers into the Black Panther Party.
There you go.
Now, think about how hard it is to organize brothers to do anything. So it was bad enough that brothers, that educated cats that went to college, that ain't really about
lawyers.
College cats don't be about too much action. These brothers went and got long arms and decided to go stand at the courthouse. Because when you get to a point where you're just like, well, if I step outside, I'm gonna die. You got to think about that. Think about you right now, sitting where you're sitting, listening to this right now, and feeling like if you go outside, you're gonna die. There's a possibility. There's not just a possibility that you're gonna die. You're gonna die.
There's a chance.
They're out there shooting at you. What are you gonna do?
I'm talking about the police.
I'm talking about the police. First of all, back in those days, in the Black Panther days, they had to worry about white folks killing them with no repercussions, let alone what the police was doing to them. So you already got towns you got sundown towns you can't drive through. You got all this racial mess going on, and then you can see that you can be immature and get killed and nothing happens to them. And even if you're white and you're protesting, you can get killed. So, and that's not talking about what the cops is doing. Then the cops is beating you up and killing you every day. You're gonna be desperate, you're gonna feel a sense of desperation that you can't even go outside and do what you need to do and provide for your family. And so you're going to call up somebody, hey bro, I gotta go to the store. Let me call down the street and see if James and John can come with me so we can walk down to the store together. You're gonna form a gang so you can battle their gang. That's just what it is. So this particular gang, the Black Panther Party, first of all was like, well, first of all, they ain't even feeding us. So let's get the food programs going first. Let's get the food programs going. They ain't even letting us feed our kids. Secondly, we're educated. Let's go in here and change legislation on top of that too. And thirdly, let's walk around and protect ourselves. Let's read the law, figure out what we can do about carrying this gun, and then protect ourselves from these cops and do it legally. And that's why they broke up the Black Panther Party, because they was actually doing all this stuff legally. They all read the law and figured it out, played the game.
Teamwork was actually making that dream work.
Teamwork made the dream work. Pop says the police from a brotherhood that supersedes white or black is them against everyone else. There's a black police chief, female lady, in Memphis. Went ahead and dissolved that Scorpion Squad, which these police officers were a part of. There was reports of them roughing up people over traffic stops. They were one of them rogue. They were one of them, just like you see in the movies. They were one of them rogue squads that had a little bit more power, kind of Training Day type of stuff, and end up killing this cat. So the first thing she had to do was take down the Scorpion Squad, which told me a lot, because when I thought they come up with these little squads inside, I thought it was just a couple cops that decided just to name their squad a couple. There's an actual Scorpion Squad official
unit, gang
tell
unit.
Tell me what there was. It was a gang unit. Tell me the power that they had above and beyond other cops to be in the elite Scorpion crew. I'd like to know. Stephen Abraham says, on the eve of the celebration of hip hop, higher infinite power, healing our people, we seem to have damaged our progress more than those that have oppressed us. I don't agree with that, bro. I feel like we're being more oppressed now than ever. And I still don't put it on a group of people living under a white supremacist situation, and everything that comes with that, because you are desperate and you're in a position of trying to survive. And that circumcedes a lot of this. That, to me, that explains a whole bunch of people's activity and people's mentality. Tough Anderson says, perhaps we should not watch, but we need to be careful to give reason why. So they
kind of cut off.
Got cut off there. Yeah. Yeah. Finish that thought. I'd like to hear what you had to say on that one. Perhaps we should not watch, but we need to be careful to give reason why. Be careful to give reason why we don't watch.
Further up, he says, or Tough Anderson says, we don't watch, so the powers of being will stop having the camera video available.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been a fight just to get the body cams on there, and then it was a fight to be able to see the stuff from the body cams, and it's still a fight. Ghost Sister 402 says, only Omaha police chiefs say something. What about Black Police Association? Where Tony Connor, Tommy Warren, John Ewing? Okay.
Good questions.
Yeah. Very good questions. Glenn Easter says, there are good police officers out there of all nationalities, and bad officers need to go. There are other videos of police brutality against people of all nationalities out there, but the media only wants to show one's identity to keep racism going. Very true. I definitely agree with that as well.
Which is why you're so, doubling down on the point of, like, these are police and this is the police culture.
Police culture is what we're talking about. Think about police culture like this. You are living your life, and for the most part, you have a group of people who are equal to you because they're also humans that are assigned to make you do something a certain way that this society has deemed you ought to be doing it. Now, there's advantages to having police because of the fact that when there's some people are trying to go outside of things or hurt people or do things, then sometimes you need protection. But how much policing is protection and peacekeeping these days than it is punishment and profiling and everything else that's happening? Are we just hearing about it more, or does it happen more? Which one? We talk a lot about how police don't always have they don't always stop crimes from happening. They're always coming after the crime has already happened and dealing with that. Where's the prevention at? Where's the prevention at? And how and the stuff that they come up with in order to come into our neighborhoods, and why is there 3 helicopters in North Omaha? How much washing do they have to do? How come in the Black community there's more people like Kyle dying? There's innocent people dying more in our community than everywhere else. What is going? What is it? And it's a culture of paternalism. Police may be necessary, and there may be, and there are police officers of all nationalities that are some are good, some are bad, just like any group of people is not a monolith. We can say that about every group of people, even the police. But the system of the how you go in there and you train, the social hierarchy that happens inside of there, the reason for them being there in the first place, how, like you mentioned before, how it started to catch slaves, all these law enforcement. Let's think about that term, law enforcement. We're sitting at the first part of the show, we were talking about the laws and the things that we need to go and try to, and bills and stuff that we need to help and push and get rid of things and so on and so forth. Those laws are there. So now you have an army of people that enforce those laws every day, and they do more law enforcement than they do peacekeeping. Seems like to me.
They're not even called peace officers anymore. Like,
New Najiel says, so y'all ready to talk about nationality?
Elephant in the room.
Tough Anderson says what we are seeing is that once it becomes acceptable for race, then race becomes unimportant. Okay. Ariel's 402 says blue badges by day and white hoods by night. A lot
There
of
you
people
go.
feel that way. Assalamu alaikum, brother Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. The what you say what's that word? I'm not sure what that word is you're saying there.
Oh yeah, unserving or yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Yep. He said, "In birthrights, ready to talk about birthrights?" That woman chimed in too. Says, I just checked into radiation. I'll check the remainder of the show on the way home. Good to see everyone here. Have a marvelous Monday and drink your water. Thanks for listening and tuning in. I appreciate you very much and take care and good luck to
Definitely.
you. Sean McCarthy says, I remember interviews with Ice Cube and Ice T in '91. Both of them said they've been reporting on incidents like Rodney King for years. Very true.
Hey, yeah, a lot of news has been shared about what's going on in the hood and hip hop music. You know, the good kind, at least for some time.
Yeah. The killing. Oh, he says the killing culture, American culture, the killing culture. That's what Brother Muhammad was talking about there.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, we're here, and we can go into the chat here. Let me finish up the chat. Wanda Lewis says if they're going to have a mental health professional on the police staff, then they should serve more than one purpose, monitoring the behavior of both the cops and the persons having the issue.
Hmm. That's interesting. Rather than having like psych evals of the police for them to come in or have them here and there when there's an incident. Like, I mean, because you think about it, policing that could be a traumatic job too. Just every day, day in and
No
day
doubt.
out. Like having a professional there to help, de-escalate all the situations and also to help just address and assess. It's a good idea.
I mean, they have police psychiatrists. They give them to them, especially when they shoot and kill somebody. You got to go
That's what
talk.
I'm saying. It has to be an incident, but like
Right.
ongoing, consistent
I hear that.
oversight and assessment is a different mentality, is a different perspective, and I like it.
Ellis Brown says, let's let this quick charge be a blueprint for all police brutality.
Hopefully, but we'll see.
Depends on the race.
We'll
Unfortunately,
see. We'll see.
Lisa said they need to stop training officers to shoot to kill people. I've seen videos of some of the training, the individuals that are that they are being trained by. I can't remember what documentary I saw this in, but they're individuals that are being trained by are from the military. They are all about shoot first. You're in a war with the streets. They use all wartime language.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's also and then of course we haven't talked about qualified immunity yet. So you just are able to do stuff, but because you're a police officer, okay. And like you said, man, I don't take nothing away from the fact I wouldn't be a police officer just because I wouldn't want to have to go out here and deal with criminals and people that are trying to kill me too, and so on and so forth. It's got to be very traumatic to be out there like that for sure. But we're not talking about we talk about when the police are out there doing their job or when they're when they've made some kind of a difference. But I'm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we got to bring up the times when stuff happens like what just happened with brother. I you know this one really hits home for a lot of people. A lot of white friends of mine are coming up to me like, "Have you seen his art? He was such an artist. Have you seen his photography?" They're talking about this cat like in a
That's
different way
interesting.
than yeah, in a
That's
different way.
interesting
Right.
because
Right.
Trayvon was criminalized, Mike
Right.
Brown was criminalized,
Yeah. Oh, this is not just some
George.
cat. This is not just some cat standing on a corner selling Lucy's, and not some cat that is in the liquor store with a fake $20 bill. Now this is an artist. This is
A
a cat. This
father.
is right. So I'm talking about, man. So this is and there's something to the fact that it was black cops that did it for people. So that's why I'm adamant about this narrative of don't matter if they were black cops.
Mm.
They were police officers that killed this that did the exact do you remember Rodney King? That was a bunch of white cops that did the same thing, beat a man half to death. It don't matter that they were black. But you know, It's since they were black, it's more to my point. They were police officers. This is the culture.
Yeah. Now that you put it like that, like thinking about it and looking at it from outside of a black perspective, does kind of make it hit different. Like, oh man, it's not just racism. It's not just racist bad. Like it really might be police in general. Like there might be something to the culture of policing, and it's not just bad apple racist cops. You know what I mean? Like it's police. It's police. It's police, not just the bad apples.
Don't get me wrong, it's still racism. Even though black cops did it because of white supremacy, because of the racist organization, the racist system that we're talking about here. We're talking about a racist system. It don't matter what color you are, if you're in that system and you're living with that and you're abiding by that, and that's part of the thing you wanted to go be and wanted to go do, then you're in the system of racism.
Yeah, I mean they had slave overseers too.
All right then, 8:35.
They're still slaves though, that part.
Let me get to the next section before I start naming some other ones. Let's take a quick break. You listen to the First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, chime in. Let us know what you think about any of this. Wanda Lewis has already said, in my opinion, it was more dangerous for them to shoot the guy that was driving. Anything could happen. You ain't lying. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio. Don't you touch nothing. Hey. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. My bad. There you go.
See, I'm in the morning. Come on, man. You don't gotta mute me. I got it.
All right. Well, if I don't do it on this side, it does something to the music, I found out. But we'll talk about it.
Okay. That's weird.
Restream. Right. Yeah, we're almost ready to bounce on that, by the way. Just want to give a shout out to Tracy Schott, who is a listener and a friend of First Sky Omaha. I forgot that she won an award for best poet or something like that last night. So,
okay.
Oh yeah, it's starting to come back to me a little bit about what happened. And I don't know, and I'm kicking myself for not mentioning this, but Curly Martin won a Lifetime Achievement Award.
All right.
Terrace Martin got up and accepted it for him.
Terrace was there. Oh,
right. Yeah, so real cool setup. Shout out to Mark Manor too. I'm just thinking about all the friends of First Sky Omaha that was there representing. That was up. Kethro in the house. Everybody was kind of. I mean, it was a good thing. Johnny Rogers got to speak to Johnny Rogers finally, and so that was a good conversation I had with him. Like I said, most of the show was me outside, kind of talking to folks last night and all that good stuff. Yeah, so yeah, good. I'm gonna put a link out. Thanks to Buddy here, so we can, if you want to know who won the awards for things.
I see. My man Alex Jokum from BFF Omaha, man. Shout out to the homies at BFF, man. I miss y'all, man. Shout out to Business First Fridays, the whole BFF family. They get down. Yeah, man, that's what's up. So, yeah, good stuff happening there, man. Lots of, it was good. It was, Kathy Tyree won for Color Purple.
outstanding director. So that was awesome. And also she won for the play she did at Benson Theater. So we were real proud of that. So I mean, there was a lot, man. You got to kind of go through everything and check things out. But
Yeah,
Edom won outstanding world. So that's what's up, man. Make Believe Studios won outstanding record studio recording studio. So there's a lot of good stuff. Definitely check it out. Mark Manor says that video they did for Curly is worth looking up. It was a nice production. Most def.
nice.
It was a combination of footage from Make Believe New Media that they shot over at the Culture House, and some video that you and I, buddy, me and you shot at the Jewel with Curly and Katie Rain.
Oh yeah, I remember that night. Dang. Okay, They used that. I gotta check that out.
Definitely check it out. So go to OEAA Awards, man. Check it out. I've told you guys this before. I've learned the power of the awards from having something to do with OEAAs. Didn't really respect it before, the whole situation before, but I do now. It is very, very important in an artistic community for those kinds of. Really, it's just acknowledgement. It doesn't you're not. It doesn't matter who won or whatever. It's the fact that you're up there, you're being able to show your work, explain your work. You're putting in categories with other people that are doing similar work, and you all get together. You guys get together and celebrate each other. That's what it's about. Sounds like the North Omaha Summit, but it for art. Well, a lot of patting on the backs. Wanda Lewis. Oh, they're talking to each other in here. That's what's up. Appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to everybody that is in the chat today, man. We got a lot of folks talking, so this is a good thing.
Chat going off. Appreciate y'all.
8:41 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, what else is on the agenda for us to talk about today?
That was actually pretty much it. We do have this bill, this Biden bill, the Renters Bill of Rights. We didn't get into. I wanted to actually get into that before the officer situation, but the people were so you just gotta go with the people sometimes. So but yeah, we got just about 20 minutes left, so we can get into that. I don't know if you have any haps things to look out for in the upcoming week. So
got a few.
Okay, we'll get into that then. But before then, in the meantime, in between time, we definitely want to get into this Renters Bill of Rights, because actually circling back around, you just mentioned it, to the state of North Omaha summit. That was another thing that was discussed as far as housing and what is the housing situation looking like in North Omaha. Again, according to this article in CNBC, just about 30% of the housing in the United States is rental property. And actually 28% of the national stock of those rental properties are federally financed, which means they're backed by mortgages like Fannie Mac and Freddie Mac, which is important because the federal government is looking at what they can do to protect renters. Of course, after the pandemic, there was a lot of assistance, a lot of finance, a lot of just support for those in rental situations. But again, the face of the threat of eviction, people kind of living on a thin ice. That's been going on before the pandemic. That's been a situation for quite some time, as far as families being, a $500 emergency away from being on the street. It's a real situation that people are facing. And when you add on top of that, slum lords, greedy property managers, deplorable living conditions, infestation, things like that. And then also just and that's talking about getting in the house. Let's not even talk about trying to get in the house. So there are ways that the federal government is trying to combat this, or at least to stem it off for a little bit. And that's coming in the form of this blueprint for a Renters Bill of Rights, which was made an announcement on Wednesday last week. It lays out a collection of principles for the federal government and other entities to take action on, which include access to safe, quality, accessible, and affordable housing, and clear and fair leases. That's a big part of this conversation, as well, as far as leases. Of course, we've been talking about throughout the season what's going on at the towers and some of the leases that the tenants at the towers in Omaha are facing, and their inability, even in the face of bed bug infestation, to get out of their lease. And even if they do move, even if they do find other shelter, they still have to pay their rent, which again, people can't afford all of that. So one of the things that the federal government is trying to do is, again, create this Bill of Rights. One of the main things is to curb egregious rent increases. Again, we've seen just in Omaha the increase on rental payments. Again, you used to be able to find a spot for $800, $900 and it be suitable. Now you're hard pressed to find something for less than $1,500. You know what I mean? It's getting a little ridiculous. So as a part of the announcement of the Federal Housing Finance Agency and the federal mortgage giants, Fannie Mac and Freddie Mac say they will look into possibly establishing tenant protections that will, quote unquote, limit egregious rent increases at properties that are backed by those mortgages. Again, about 30% of rental properties are backed by federal mortgages. Rent protections such as properties would be the most significant action the federal government could take. That's, of course, a part of the White House actions. The Federal Trade Commission also says it will look into ways to expand its authority to take action against practices that unfairly prevent consumers from obtaining and retaining housing. Of course, you have strong evictions, very, very aggressive evictions going on throughout the pandemic. Imagine being in the pandemic, being, of course, sidelined by this pandemic, not being able to pay your rent for reasons outside of your control, and then you get evicted, and then that eviction is on your record, and now you can't find a house for years to come. This is a reality that many people are facing. So again, this is just a few of the items in this Renters Bill of Rights, but the federal government is trying to do something to combat this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting fact here. Wanda Lewis in the chat says reported data at the beginning of the 16th annual State of North Omaha showed a decline in Black residents in Northeast Omaha in the past 30 years. Went from 67% down to 30-something percent, as well as job reduction. What's the majority of the folks living in North Omaha? Who is that?
What is a demographic? It's a good question. And where did the people go?
This is a very good question. Ghost Listeners 402, I see a partial comment here that looks interesting. Please put that back in there again. Would like to people with their rent. Post link, please. I think you're saying you'd like to help people with their rent. Let me know what you mean there. Post that again so we can just be clear about what you're saying there, if you don't mind. Appreciate that. I know that I got friends in New York that live in buildings that are rent controlled, and that's the only way they're able to live in Manhattan, because they put a cap on it. I know that there's been chat chimers in our chats that have been talking about rent control all the time. If you're going to make something affordable, if you're going to have affordable living situation, and you have a free market where people are charging what they want to charge, then you're going to have some kind of rent control. And I know that real estate people don't really like that, and developers don't really want that. But at the same time, it can get so out of control that people are not able to live or not able to pay the rent because live in the areas that they're there. They do it in New York because you might be a barista or something like that. You might be working at a restaurant or something. How you can't get on a 2-hour train from New Jersey somewhere just to go work a barista job. You got to be able to work close to where you live close to where you work. So the problem with places like that is that it's the same thing with downtown, the same thing with any downtown, really. Like when it gets out of control, when rent gets out of control, then what do working people do? What do people who have working class jobs do? Well, they got to get on a train, get in the car and drive hours. And, I remember being in California, man, having to drive 2 hours to work every day and 2 hours back. Just because where I lived was cheap enough to live, and it was too expensive to live where I was working. So that piqued my interest about rent control, just because we had some people in the chat that talked about that before. Is Omaha going to have to do that? Is Omaha going to have some rent control at some point? Law is interesting that Biden is putting this together because it'll be federal, but what does that actually mean for our area? I've yet to see, but I do know that we need to be talking about it, because we every show we talk about how rent goes up I'm in a 1-bedroom at $1,100. That's I'm out, every day, every first of the month. I'm like, I need to move back to California when we paying this much for a 1-bedroom. Like,
Man,
yeah, bro.
that's crazy. 1 bedroom for 1,100. That's I'm in a house and it's different out here, but that's crazy in Omaha of all places.
Wow,
Man.
Put a cap on it, right?
Yeah. But it's funny you made the federal point, because that's actually mentioned here in this article. Bob Penninger, who's the president and CEO of the National Apartment Association, said the industry opposed expanded federal involvement in the landlord-tenant relationship. Of course, talking about the housing industry, property management companies, things like that. But he says something that goes along with what you said. He says complex housing policy is a state and local issue, and the best solution is utilize carrots over sticks. So again, is this something that can be addressed on a federal level, or should this be a state issue? Should this be something that is discussed in the legislature?
Our
I
state
kind of
will say it's supposed to be state. That's what our state would say.
Oh, of course, states' rights. But I kind of agree with that. I do think that maybe it should be on the state level, or federal, and then states come in to support it. Yeah,
We'll
along
see.
those lines. Yeah.
Gwen Easter has a resource she's put in the chat over on Facebook. She said, we do need rent control law. My organization helps families and find affordable housing and help with utilities. They can contact United Way for a referral or call me directly at 402-706-1358. So definitely call Gwen Easter up. Appreciate you putting that resource in the chat for people that need that. If you need help with help finding affordable housing and help with utilities, you can call United Way for a referral or call me directly at 402-706-1358. So, good thing that there's some programs there, some help there for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to take a look at that in your area, man, just to see if they can help with looking for some housing, affordable housing there too. They got to have a list of places that are available, so you might want to check them out. But and again, to my family that are out there in Atlanta, if you got any hookups, hit me up, because we got to get Buddy in a place. He got to get out in a couple weeks.
Man,
And
clock is ticking.
Clock is ticking. You got to find a spot. So that's what it is, man. And I just same here, man. I got a lease coming up. I'm looking around now. I got to try to find a cheaper spot to be in, because this ain't sustainable. And so if I don't find one in time, then I'll just have to go ahead and bite the bullet and struggle another year on paying such a high rent. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Wanda Lewis says it would probably be different for HUD than it would be for private landlords as far as capping the rent. Yeah, that rent cap is going to be tricky.
Yeah,
it's going to be real tricky, because especially if it's a law. If they're being made. This is why they fight for states' rights so much all the time. They make a law that you got to cap your rent. You're a developer, you're a real estate owner. That's gonna be a tough pill to take.
And that's an uphill battle, man. That's an uphill battle, because you got constitutional contract law. Like, there are it's interesting, and I always found this interesting. But look at like, you can contract basically, if two people agree, you can contract into anything.
Right.
Into anything. So, if it is substandard, housing, and if you're signing that lease and you're agreeing to this and you're constantly paying, and the two people are,
No, you know what? I take that back. So there are some laws in place that don't allow certain. This is the reason why they have these laws in place, because then two people would just be, go ahead and move in. I know, sign here. I know the roof's falling down, but if you agree to move into this house with no roof, then go ahead. It's not agreements. Not quite anything can happen, because they have these laws in place where you can't sell something unless there's these things in place. And I just feel like they should extend it to rent.
Agree. I agree. There are limits, to things, but there's also a lot of leeway in contracting. And my whole point is, I agree, there should be limits, but I also acknowledge that's an uphill battle. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight, and landlords and property managers and property management companies, they have ammo for that fight.
Most deaf. We'll get out of here pretty soon, huh? It's 8:54 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, about 6 minutes left in the show. I will leave you with Gwen Easter asking. It should be a state issue because we know what all the. Oh, she said she
I guess you changed your thought.
changed her thought. What all, buddy, are you looking for? A house or apartment? My cousins live in Atlanta. I could ask them about their apartments that they may be available. They may be available.
We'll see. I mean, I have 3 children, so if I can get a house, that'll be helpful. But
yeah,
hey, what's available?
I mean, that's the issue. That is the issue.
Right. What options do I have?
I would look in the future about bringing somebody on that's a little bit closer to the housing market here and just have them talk about the state of housing, so we can figure out some things too. Because this is always something that's also evergreen on this show. We always need to keep a tab on that because it's getting ugly out here sometimes. So appreciate everybody's comments on everything. We're going to jump into the haps a little bit real quick. And
what's the haps?
Coming in hot.
Came in hot.
What's going down?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the haps. It's time for us to talk a little bit about some of the things that we think you ought to be checking out this week, and for you to let us know what we should be bigging up as well.
Yeah,
appreciate everybody who is having. If you got haps, then definitely put them in the chat. We will definitely run those down as well. Just real fast, I just want to kind of throw a couple things up here. Juanita Johnson is having a get together about Creighton University expansion. Councilwoman Juanita Johnson and Creighton University are inviting the community to an open forum discussing future plans for expansion in District 2. So a lot of you have put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Definitely want to do that. If you guys have anything you want to talk about with that, let us know. We can talk about it Wednesday as well. I think there's a lot of concerns when it comes to Creighton expansion. They kind of move into the north side more and more and more. So we've talked about that before, but definitely check it out. Also, I want to put this up here too. This African American Professionals Day. I had a question about it. Mark your calendars for March 9th. A couple of people from the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation chimed up and said they get a table every year here, and that we ought to have the person that runs it on because he's a powerful dude, and so we need to talk to him about this as well. But 6th Annual African American Professionals Day happening at North High, March the 9th. So definitely check that out. You can go to I think the website is let's see, where's the website? blackstudentleadershipcouncil.org.
Yep.
So definitely go check that out there and get some more information. Mark the date. Fences is still going on right now. I believe this is the last weekend though that it's going to be playing. So if you haven't seen it yet, maybe look at checking them out this week. This is at the Omaha Playhouse.
Yes.
First time they ever did an August Wilson play in their 90 years of existence. So yeah, definitely go check them out. I heard the performances are off the chain. Most definitely. We'll have to check it out. Also, did I do DJ Battle already? Yeah, DJ Battle coming up 5th and 6th. 4th and 5th, excuse me. 4th and 5th. Remember, it starts at 6:30. I know you guys were asking what time the DJ Battle starts, but definitely check that out. So yeah, let's definitely support the Culture House, and we'll have Michelle Troxclair on to talk a little bit about what's going on for hip hop in the month of February between Culture House, Vincent Theater, and her classes on everything hip hop. She's going to take you way back to Africa with it, even. So let's
take it way back. Man, shout out to Mayor Sanchez, man, in the chat, kind of mentioning this little sentiment that you shared, Paul. It says, I'm wondering if those African American professionals, quote unquote, vote Republican.
I had a question about it. I will say I had a question. I'm glad that we got some reach out. Actually, Shamika was the first one that reached out and says, yeah, it's a great event. And then Joanna chimed up. But yeah, I don't know. There was something about like the Black Police Officers Association being a sponsor, and there's just some things, man. When I think of black professionalism, sometimes I think about how kind of like respectable Negro politics type of situation, but I could be wrong. Could just be what was coming across from me. Apparently, the brother that runs this is running a pretty great program, so we'll have him on. And that's sometimes that's my way of being introduced to something. I'm like, what's this?
Hey,
with the red, black, and green going on. What's this? What's going on here? I don't know about this yet. Who's behind this?
yeah.
And I'll be skeptical for a minute, and then we'll have them on and figure out what's going on. So that's just my journey.
Gotta ask the questions, man. Gotta ask the questions. But also speaking of voting, shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. He will on February 4th have the Black Political Summit that's coming up as well. So yeah, shout out.
Yeah, where is that, man?
You got that? You got that for the people?
I had the graphic, but yeah, you sprung it on me too fast.
My bad.
It's all good. So I'll find it and put it up. Also,
you can find it in the Friends of.
There you go. Also, definitely check out the podcast here, Swing Left Nebraska podcast. Kimra Snipes will be on there, as a matter of fact. You can check them out. And shout out to the Nebraska Legislative Study Group. They always are on it right now, unpacking the unicameral with Angie Phillips. So that's what's up. You need to definitely check that out. February 1st at 1:30. The Capitol, she says, we will discuss LB 626, the anti-abortion bill, and LB 535, the voter suppression, voter ID bill. Learn how you can testify in person for both bills on February 1st. So that's what's up, man. And then, of course, we talked about some of the other bills that are coming up. February 3rd, they're going to be up talking about LB 18. This will give Ernest Jackson a chance to have another trial if this passes. So definitely your support there is definitely necessary. And then they put in the chat earlier that Preston Love was going up on on Wednesday. This Wednesday coming up. Be at Freedom Corner. What did they say? 11 o'clock. Man, I should have copied that down. I think
72nd and Dodge 11 on Wednesday.
And jump on the bus and roll up and be in support of the two bills. The two important bills there, I guess, are going to be the abortion bill and voter suppression. So definitely check those out. And let's keep in touch all week long, really, about how we can go up and do that. We can go up and support.
Right? My daughter just scared the mess out of me. I did not hear her come downstairs.
She tapping you on the side like, yeah. Cooking this stuff.
Oh man.
That's what's up. Gwenisha said, what does it matter if it is a great African American event in helping Black people? I hope it does. I'm just saying, there's sometimes people put things out there that has a different kind of agenda. So we want to ask the questions, and we'll definitely bring them out. So that's what's up. Really appreciate everybody that joined in today. If you have any other ask Commissioner Rogers. Okay. If you have any other haps, let us know. And if we didn't get them, if we can't get them now in the next few minutes, then we'll definitely take them over to Friends of Sky Omaha and post them there. There it is. Yes, this is the one I was looking for right there.
Yeah, right there.
Black Political Summit and Workshop, Black Voters Matter, which is this is Cliff Albright out of Atlanta, teaming up with Black Votes Matter, which is Preston Love. Shout out to Kimra Snipes for her work and helping putting this together too. Lunch provided. This is going to be happening at the venue 9 to 4 on Saturday, February 4th. 9 to 2. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out what's going on there. We got to get those things happening because it's very important that we keep on playing this game. So thanks for everybody's comments today. And I think it's, what time is it? Yeah, 9:03. It's time to get out of here.
Time to get out of here.
Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, as always, I appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Big shout out to all the chat chimers. And catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. And without further ado, Paul B, take it away. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
No, okay.
She mic shy right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Pop says, fantastic show as always. Loved it. See you all on Women's Wednesday. Much love, fam. Appreciate you, Pops. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you very much. Ty Williams says, Erica still has meal train opening until April. Okay. Thank you, Ty Williams. I appreciate that. I think that Miss Erica Felt told us that she was going to shut that down early. And but if you want to continue to help her out, you can Cash App her instead. So we'll check with her on that. I think that she's in treatment right now, but we'll check with her on it and give you a little update on what's going on with her on Wednesday as well. She's still fighting, still pushing through. So we appreciate everybody's help so far, and let's continue to help her until she is back on her feet and got her business up and running again. Remember, Miss Erica Felder's fam. That's Chet Chimer family. So we definitely gonna help out when we can. But thank you everybody who's joined us today. Really appreciate that. I give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them, and thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you, and for all the knowledge and everything that you bring, all the facts that you bring to the chat, and all the things that I learned from y'all. I really appreciate that very, very much. We'll definitely be back with Precious McKesson and Kimra Snipes Wednesday for sure, and I'll be talking about some politic with P, find out what's good in the hood, all that good stuff. Brother Muhammad says, take care of yourselves. The unraveling of the nation will continue. Yep. Watch each other's back. And we are a family. That's what it's got to be. So we'll continue the fight and continue the discussion on Wednesday. So you guys have a great one, and take care of yourselves. Until then, peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the Red